Now, there are three outcomes. You have number one, pass, retrain, and failed. Okay. Oh, hi mga Kengo. Jaco here at your service. Okay, so again, we're now here with another video. This is still about Engoo. Okay, and this time we will be talking about free conversation. Okay, but before that, congratulations once again to those who were able to make it in the initial evaluation. Okay, congratulations, by the way. So looking forward to seeing you here in the family. Okay, so I know that you're here because you have already passed the initial evaluation and you are now, you know, on doing, okay, or having your demo lesson. All right. Well, congratulations, by the way, for making it. Again, to those who have not yet applied to Ingo, I have a video I prepared. Actually, I made a video actually how to apply and how to pass the language computer and also the language test. Okay, so the thumbnail is here. I mean there. And then of course the link is in the description and also up there. Okay, so that's how you're going to apply. Okay, so well, for today's video we will be doing demo lesson, how to conduct the demo lesson using the free conversation. So I have a slide here. Okay, as you can see there, demo lesson, free conversation. Okay, and yeah, so here's your takeaways in this video. Okay, so we have first the pre-demo prep and the basic lesson flow, tips for a very engaging free conversation, because this demo is about free conversation, and of course the frequently asked questions. All right, now let's proceed to the next slide. Okay, so for the first slide we have the pre-demo preparations. Okay, so after you have passed the language test or the computer and language test, the recruitment team will send you training, okay, for the demo. And in the training, you will have Q&A, demo briefing. Okay, so Q&A, this is actually your final chance, okay, to ask about Ingo, what will happen in the demo, and also after the Q&A is, discussion about the demo itself, and also you will have the briefing, okay, before you will go to the demo, right? Now let's proceed to letter B. Okay, so we have two demo classes which has, with materials, okay, class with materials. I also made a video about how to conduct demo lesson with materials specifically for daily news. It's the thumbnail is there. Okay, so the thumbnail is there and also the link. All right, so please also watch that video. Okay, and then this time we will also do a free conversation. Okay, so you have two demos. We have with materials and free conversation. So now we will do a free conversation. Okay, and if you want an actual video of this lessons, like the demo lesson, I mean the actual lesson um, for daily news and also free conversation, I also have um, actual lessons for them. Okay, and then again your demo will be 15 minutes. Okay, so it's different from the normal class or the regular class because we have 25 minutes, so you will have 15 minutes. So after the Q&A is over, you will receive a link to access the lesson room. Okay, and then be on time. All right, once you click the link, and then once the time is already started, then the demo will also start. All right, now here's the basic lesson flow. Okay, so here's the key. Okay, so this is actually um, this is the key to passing. Okay, your demo lesson. This is the basic lesson flow. You have to master the basic lesson flow. Okay, for scripting, okay, I made also a video. Okay, you can also see it in the thumbnail and also the link. Okay, it's in the description. Okay, so if you want a detailed scripting of what to say every step of the way during the lesson, you can also have it there. Okay, once you click the link after the Q&A, then you will be routed to the lesson room or the training room. Okay, and then once the time's already started, then when the students already appeared in the training room, then you greet the student. Okay, so you say, oh hi, good morning. By the way, my name is Jacko, so I'll be your tutor for today. So how would you like me to call you? Okay, so you ask for the name, so after you greet them, and then have a small talk. Okay, so once the student has already given his or her name, then you say, um, like for example, if the name is Yuki, okay, so you say, Yuki-san, nice to meet you, right? And then, how are you today? Okay, so how's the weather like in your city today? You do small talk. Okay, onset of the lesson, there's already an engagement, okay, to the student. All right, and then number two, after the student or after the small talk, after the greetings, this is a standard operating procedure that you need to check. Okay, the audio and video check. All right, and or you can also say, I just like to check on a few things. Can you hear me clearly? Then what about my video? Can you see me clearly? All right. There are cases that the student is very shy, okay, or maybe their camera is broken, or maybe they have issues on the internet, so that's why there's no video call, okay? So they turn off the videos. You can ask, okay? Do not forget to ask. You can say, I noticed that your video is not on. Would you like to share? Okay, but if the student would say no, okay, he or she will not share the video, then it's okay. Okay, just say it's okay, no worries, we will have an audio lesson instead, maybe next time. Okay, so that's how you say it. And then after that, the audio and video check, you need to proceed to the introduction. Okay, well, again, since this is a demo lesson, there is no student request. Okay, so unlike in the actual lesson, you will know if the student would like to have an introduction or a self introduction, okay, or have the lesson that he wants to have. So since this is a demo lesson, there's no student's request. So you need to ask the student. You say, since this is our first time to have a lesson, so would you like to have an introduction? Okay, you ask. Okay, and then if the student would say yes, then you need to ask again. Okay, would you like to go first? If the students would like to go first, or if the student would like you to go first, then you introduce yourself. Okay, so introduce yourself. You say your name, your age, your occupation, if you're a student, your program in college, and then also your hobbies and your likes. And also one of the good things that the Japanese or other people would be very happy to know if they know something about them. Like for example, you say, I like Japanese food. I love sushi, takoyaki, sashimi, Japanese kimchi. Okay, and if your student is a Korean, you say, um, I like K-pop, sort of things like that. Okay, because the student will be delighted to know. Okay, if you know something about them. All right, and then after that, you say after your introduction, you can say, well, that's my introduction, Yuki-san. What about you? You can say anything about yourself. All right, so that's the introduction. And then after the students have already finished introducing himself or herself, you need to thank the student. Okay, so you can say, well, thank you very much, Yuki-san, for your generosity in sharing some informations about yourself. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, so thank them for introducing themselves. All right, and then after that, again, since it is a demo, we will not know what's the lesson will be like. Okay, if it's with material or free conversation, so you can say, um, well, what would you like us to do here? Would you like to use a material, or would you like to do free conversation? Okay, then since this is a free conversation demo lesson, so if the student would say, yeah, let's do free conversation. Okay, and then proceed immediately, okay, to the conversation. So here in number 5, direct instruction and guided practice. Later Number 5, because since it's a free conversation, so meron tayong kailangang alamin. Okay? So, in the next slide, ito na yung na number 5, or this is actually the lesson proper or the conversation proper. Okay, and then number 6 is ending the class. All right? So, you end the class. So, to end the class, you need to do the wrap up. Okay? So, since it is a free conversation lesson, so you can say, um, uh, okay, today we did, you can say, today we did a free conversation. We talk about, you mentioned the topic, all right, and then some other subtopics that you've already also discussed. And then after the wrap up, in the wrap up also you can also say, well, today we have learned these words. Okay, in your chat box, I wrote in your chat box, do not forget the words I taught you and also the corrected sentences. All right, and then after the wrap up, you can also after the wrap up, you praise the student. Okay, um, his or her strength and weaknesses. Okay, what particular aspect in the English language she is good at. Okay, so you mentioned first the strength of the student. Like for example, if the student is good in speaking, so you mention it like, oh, you're very good in speaking. Okay, you are good in pronunciation. Every time you pronounce words, it's very clear. It's easy to understand. Okay, and then you're good in listening. Okay, you're good in listening because every time I ask you questions, immediately you responded. Okay, and then some aspects like intonation. Okay, so you also praise if the student has a good intonation, and then also grammar. Okay, grammar and also vocabulary. Okay, so praise the student, and then I'll try to be very honest. Okay, if they have weaknesses, like for example pronunciations. Okay, or maybe they are having a hard time expressing themselves. Okay, so you can say, I noticed earlier that you are having some pauses when you speak. Maybe you are thinking that you are thinking of the right words to say. It's in your mind already, but you're having a hard time expressing yourself. Okay, so and then after you mention his or her weakness, okay, immediately you also provide some tips. Okay, like for example, um, uh, hindi niya ma-express yung sarili niya. So, one of his weaknesses is vocabulary. Okay, so you can say, oh, to address that issue, just increase your vocabulary every day. Learn more vocabulary that includes phrases and idiomatic expressions. In that way, you will be able to express your thoughts well in English. Okay, every day. Just, learn new words every day. 3 to 5 words in a day, that would be enough. Okay, and then some suggestions like watch American TV shows. Okay, read more English content. So sort of things like that. You have to make them realize that they can make their weaknesses into a strength in the future. Okay, suggest some to them. Okay, and yeah, and then say goodbye. Okay, so say goodbye properly. Okay, and do not put things, do not say goodbye in a hurry. Okay, so just relax. Say your goodbyes properly. Okay, so that's actually the basic lesson flow. Okay, do not miss any step, do not skip any step, because you will be endangered if you will skip one step. Like for example, if you forget the greetings. Okay, if you forget the audio video check, so you will be xed. Okay, so every step that you skip will be a minus point. Okay, a deduction to your score. So make sure, anim lang naman ito. Okay, so make sure nakuha mo lahat ng steps. Alright, well, now here's our tips. Okay, so here are our tips for a very engaging conversation. So since this is a free conversation, wala tayong material na gagamitin. Okay, so yung material lang natin is yung bibig natin. Okay, so tips for a very engaging conversation. Now, so here's the thing. What free conversation topics am I allowed to talk about? Okay, remember this. Okay, so this is a free conversation. Okay, so Listen carefully to the student's self-introduction. That's actually your hint, okay? Student's hobby is your hint to start a very interesting talk. And if the student would like to skip introduction, politely ask if he or she has a topic in mind, okay? So you can say, do you have any topic in mind that you would like us to talk about? Then bibigayan ng estudyante. Then if the student would want you to pick a topic, then confirm and say, is it okay if we will talk about? That's how you say it, okay? So you need to always confirm, coordinate with your students, and then try to focus on topics that are not controversial, like hobbies and interest, or learning more about each other's countries or local areas. So those are some interesting topics. And then try to avoid taboo topics such as politics, religion, sex, money, personal relationship issues, and then physical mental health concerns or how you feel about the company. Okay, so no to that. And then um, yeah, okay. So especially to those like new in the industry, okay? So like this is your first time to do it. So free conversation is really difficult for you. Okay, if you're a first timer, if you're a beginner, free conversation is really difficult. Okay, my during my first lessons, you know, having free conversations, I'm really having a hard time. Okay, hindi ko pa ito na-discover. Okay, so again, take advantage of the online resources. Okay, so there are tons of available ESL free conversation topics online. So feel free to use them. So you go to Google and then type ESL conversation topics, and there's a lot of them. Okay, so like this one example here. Okay, so they're actually alphabetically arranged. Okay, like for example, I click this one from itslj.org. So ito yung mga topics nila. Okay, conversation questions for the ESL classroom. So again, um, if the student would say, um, I love, ano ba itong pwede dito? Okay, I love arts. Okay, so I love arts, and then you click arts on dito na. I love arts. I love basketball. Okay, and I love beauty and physical attractiveness. I like food and eating. Okay, so hint mo yon. Ayan. Okay? So, ayan. Pag i-click mo yan, ang dami ng mga questions na lalabas doon. And for sure, hindi ka na mahihirapan at magkalisod-lisod. Okay? To think of questions and follow-up questions. Ayan. So, take advantage of the online resources. Andun na lahat. Okay? So, but be very careful. Okay? But be very careful. Okay? But, because there are questions that are not really applicable. Okay? And there you go. So the don'ts, okay? So here's the thing. Avoid yes, no, or close-ended questions. Ask open-ended questions. Make the students elaborate on their points and ideas. I've known some, um, this is actually one of the things, okay, na nakakaano sa demo mo, okay? Manganganib ka talaga if you will keep on asking close-ended questions, okay? Because a student will just say yes, okay, no. So as much as possible, you need the student to, or you make the student elaborate on their points and ideas. So you need to ask open-ended questions. Okay. So like for example, the student the student likes basketball. Okay. So you can say, don't say, do you like basketball? Really? It's a close-ended question. So the student would say yes. Okay, how to do it? How to ask open-ended question? Like for example, basketball yung gusto niya. So you can say, what got you interested in playing basketball? Okay, so marami siyang sasabihin yan. Or you can ask, who is your favorite basketball player? Okay, so make the student elaborate on their points. So ito yung kalimitan, in a free conversation, ito yung kalimitang dahilan na ma-fail because you don't ask open-ended questions. Instead, you ask close-ended questions. So be very careful in asking questions kasi very particular yung evaluator. Okay? So if kung di mo talaga maiwasan, you ask an open-ended, a close-ended question, maging ano ka rin, parang maging in Bisaya pa abdik. Okay, so once you ask an open and close-ended question, immediately you ask for a follow-up. But as much as possible, avoid. Okay, avoid yes and no or close-ended questions. Okay, very particular ang ating evaluator dyan. And then, do not ask irrelevant questions or talk about another topic. Okay, focus on the topic. Unless the student would open up another topic that he would like us to talk about. Okay, so in your case, focus on what the student, what you have already talked. Okay, you have start talking or having conversation with. Again, also available, avoid dead air. Avoid no dead air. Okay, so another way you can minimize dead air is by asking short follow-up questions like, really, how was that? Tell me more, or why? Okay, so para there's no awkward silence. So maano na yung estudyante, ano na nangyayari? Bakit wala na nangyayari? So again, okay, do some reactions. Okay, oh, why? Really? How was that? Tell me more. If wala ka na while your mind is still processing for the next question. Okay, now observe 70-30 rule. Okay, so there you go. So observe 70-30 rule. Free conversation is mostly about enhancing their speaking skills. Remember that, okay? 70-30 means 70% of the whole time the students must be speaking, okay? You only have like 30%, okay? So it's like enough of asking questions. Okay, remember that you are a guide. Prompt the student by asking questions and have them speak. All right, and also allow the student to control the conversation. If they want to hear from you, they will ask. Okay, so as much as possible, si student talaga yung nagsasalita. And there are times that the student is the one asking many questions. Politely ask them back the question. Okay? So, importante talaga na sila yung nagsasalita. Observe 70-30 rule. Okay, that's also a factor in your demo lesson. Alright? Now, avoid asking personal information. So, what are the personal information? Usually refers to information that people may be uncomfortable about sharing with others. Okay, if they're not comfortable. This can be, but is not limited to age, marital status, number of children or siblings, or religious beliefs, or even political beliefs. Okay, so avoid asking question. Okay, should you need to discuss any of these topics with your students, ask first if they are comfortable, okay, discussing such topics. Okay, so it's very important to, have permission. Or they voluntarily, okay, give you the information. That's okay. All right, so avoid, even you in your case, avoid, also giving a personal information. That's for protection. That's for security and confidentiality. Okay, kasi nga especially Japanese yung Japanese staff, kasi Japanese evaluator kasi siya. So the government of Japan is very protective, okay, of its people. So that's why ganon. And then, yeah, okay, so that's it. Okay, so those are the things that you need to, remember, okay, whenever you ask questions. Okay, so again, in a free conversation, dapat flowing lang yung ano ninyo, yung inyong class. Okay, so be very attentive, listen very carefully, okay, and then think of follow-up questions. Again, always ask open-ended questions that the student will be able to speak more, okay, about himself or herself. All right, now we have frequently asked questions. These are some questions, okay, maybe this is one of your questions as well. Okay, the first one, do we need to finish the entire material during the demo? Well, since you don't have the material, okay, so this is actually for demo with materials, okay, so but to answer this question, it's actually not necessary, okay, to finish the entire material. But remember this, on the 14th minute, okay, so like for example, if you're doing a free conversation, remember this, on the 14th minute, inform the students that the lesson time has ended. Okay, start to wrap up and then leave a positive impression by saying goodbye properly and not ending the class suddenly. Okay, on the 14th minute. Another question, will a timer be visually displayed during my demos? Actually, there's no timer, okay? So you'll be using training lesson rooms. The timers feature is available for active tutors only, all right? And then, do I need to send any material links? Okay, well, there's no need to send for the lesson material because the lesson room has shared view and navigation feature that ensures you and your student are always viewing the same material, okay? And then where can I see or find the student's request? Okay, again, like I said, for the demo class, you will not receive a student's request prior to starting the class. You will have to ask the student what type of class they want to have, if it's material or free conversation. How can I access the materials page? Okay, to access the materials page in the lesson room, click on materials on the upper left side. Okay, if this is for with materials. Okay, makikita mo naman doon kung material yung kung magagamit ka ng material during the demo. How will I know if the student has already entered the lesson room? So when the student enters the lesson room, you should hear an entry chime. Ching! Okay, so malalaman mo naman, even if you're navigating or you're looking into other tabs, you would know that if the student's already there kasi mayroong sound or chime. If you do not hear the entry chime, check the call log in the chat box. It shows the history of who has entered the lesson room and when. Okay, like for example, hindi mo namalayan yung chime. Andun na pala yung estudyante. Okay? And then you're looking into other tabs. So, hindi mo namalayan na pumasok na siya. And then, you can actually look into the chat box. Okay? Mayroong nakalagay doon na, like for example, Jacko joined the room, then Jacko left the room. Now, when should I enter the lesson room? Okay? You are expected to be in the lesson room 3 to 5 minutes, okay, before the start of the lesson time. However, if you are encouraged to enter earlier if you wish to practice navigating the page. Can I use prepaid Wi-Fi, mobile data as backup for connection? Again, the recommended type of internet connection is a wired connection, LAN cable. But now Engoo also accept LTE prepaid home Wi-Fi connections. For either connection type, they require a minimum connection speed of at least 1 Mbps for both upload and download speed, as tested against a Tokyo server. Again, Tokyo server, not Philippine server. So here's the thing, okay? So what will happen after my demo class? Of course, you will be evaluated basing on, the standards. All right. Now there are three outcomes. You have number one, pass, retrain, and failed. Okay, so after the demo, these are the three outcomes. For past, you will receive instructions on what to do next in order to activate your account. Okay, or you will receive an instruction that you will do the second demo. Alright? Kasi if ginalingan mo na during your first demo, so if excellent na yung rating mo for the first demo, hindi ka na magsa-second demo. Okay? You will proceed, you will receive instructions to activate your account. And then, after that, if nagkulang, okay, nagkulang yung ano mo, yung ratings mo, you will go for a retraining. Okay, so you will have to book a new session to show you have understood the feedback you have received and improve your performance. Bibigay naman sa iyo kung saan ka nagkulang. Okay, so like for example, nagkulang na maybe you miss one of the steps in the basic lesson flow kasi ninervyos ka. Okay, and then also um, you ask close-ended questions most of the time or may mga pronunciation issues ka, so ilalagay naman nila doon. Okay? Maybe you forget to smile kasi nervous na. So ilalagay naman nila doon. Okay? So ayun. So retraining, okay? And then you will just book for a new session. And then number 3, ito na yan. Okay? So ito na yung pinakamasaklap na mangyayari sa inyo. You fail. Alright? Okay, so you will receive information on what needs to be improved and can apply again in 6 months. So sana hindi mangyari sa inyo ito, whoever or who's ever watching this, I pray that you will pass. Okay, you will not fail in Jesus' name. Okay, so ayan. All right. So again, that's it. So tapos na tayo sa ating demo with free conversation. Okay, so again, thank you very much for watching, and if you like this video, you like, and then if you're new to this channel, please subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell. And if you want some suggestions, okay, if you want some shout out or any questions, you can ask in the comment section below. Okay, so well, that's it for today, and looking forward to seeing more of you again, mga Kaingo and Jaconatics. All right, well, I don't want to say this, but bye for now. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye bye.